For a graphic artist, creating a two-dimensional optical illusion is difficult enough, but creating an optical illusion in 3 dimensions was a real challenge for our production designer, Elliot Scott. Scotty designed it so there's nothing that tells you what's up or down, and everything intercuts. In other words, it's all lit so that there's no giveaway as to what's top and what's bottom. And this means that you can never orient yourself to what you're looking at. The middle point of my cut should be on things. Here you go. Part 26. You turn my world, you precious. You suddenly exhaust me. Everything. That's a nice one. Let me do it just a touch slower on the... Put on the zoom and do... We very carefully storyboarded this whole sequence and followed it closer than we ever did anywhere else in the film. Sequences in here where we wanted David to do things which you couldn't really do, like David was actually doing all of this stuff. And this worked because we were able to turn the camera in different angles, because the set allows us to do that. Play that. Ready? And action. How you turn my world, you precious thing. You start me exhausting. Everything that I have done for you. I move the stars for no one. So long you run so far. Your eyes can be so cruel. Good. The shaft of hands, it's a slimy green substance that has these hands sticking out from all over the place, and tons and tons and tons of them. And it's really high. It's about 40 feet or something. One, drop. I suddenly had this idea of, all these hands just sort of coming out from the old grabber. I thought it sounds pretty spooky. And then I thought it would be very nice if the hands started talking to her. I remember people doing those things where they paint lipstick on their hand like that, and 2 eyes, and then and so I thought one of the hands gets some lipstick and does that, and it starts talking to her. And then I think Jim liked the idea of the shaft of hands, and he suggested that hands actually should just form faces. It probably can be done, but gee, it's hard. And actually, one person doing both. I'm leading. It's not terrible. It certainly can be done, I think, at some point. All the puppeteers had to wear latex gloves, designed to look like gnarled, arthritic hands. We ended up making over 100 pairs, and the foam latex people were working day and night to get them all ready on time. It's like that. The eyes are done by 2 people. See, I'm the eye on this side. Yeah, okay, so there's an eye. There's a pair of eyes there. Is this done with line focus? To me, the easiest mouth is one person in front doing like that. That's a very... yeah. Now that I would particularly like with another fist in there to create a nose, Yeah. like so? Those of you who haven't seen any of these faces before, Brian, Mac, Ron, Cheryl, some of you all have tried this already, so just show some of the faces and the way bodies orient. Which one was the smiling? Yes, which way? Come on, which way would you like to go? Oh, gosh. When you've had an idea, which is always a pretty good idea, and then you see it done, and it's so much better than you ever imagined. It's sort of taken your original leap, a quantum leap. It was one of those magic moments, I think, when I actually saw it. What do you mean, help? We are helping. We are helping hands. Well then, come on, which way? Come on, we haven't got all day. Where is your picnic seated for you? Which way do you want to go? Since I'm pointed that way, I guess I'll go down. She chose down. She chose down. certainly the most complicated puppet creature we've ever built. It's the most technically elaborate face because we've put about 18 motors in there to control all the different portions of the face with these 18 motors and 4 people operating that from outside by radio control. It creates enormous problems in just trying to figure out how to make that into one expression. The Hoggle crew are 5 performers, one of which is really an actress, Sherry. She's inside the costume. She does all the body movement, and her head is inside the head. However, the jaw is not connected to her jaw. Nothing that the face is doing has any connection with what she's doing with her face. The other 4 members of the crew are all radio crew, myself included.
Our head doesn't just speak, it moves while it speaks, and the body has to have the right attitude, the right breathing, and the right, stance, body position, and stuff like that. So it was very important to really act Hoggle out and know what transitions were going on, just as much as the people doing the head.
They breathe as fast as I can spray. 5 performers trying to get one character out of one puppet. It's a very tough thing. Basically what it takes is a lot of rehearsing and getting to know each other, getting to know each other's timing. Yeah, something like that. The eyes go here, and Sherry goes here, and everybody does it at the same time. And they all know that it's going to come, and they know exactly what it's going to sound like and all that. That took a lot of rehearsal. Now, would you go left or right? We both stayed open to him. It's Hoggle. Because he was the most complicated character. We were trying to do more with him, and he had to be virtually the second lead in the film. His hands were always a problem, because Shari has very small hands, and we had to build these sort of large hands over her.
Sarah, do we have the little hanky? Yeah. Oh, great. Wonderful. Let's see what we can do. Can you get that? Yeah, almost. How long is this movie going to be? And now, here we go. 2 of them. Oh, all right. Great.
Tell you what, you give me the bracelet, and I'll show you the way out of the labyrinth.
We're going to do that anyway.
Yes, well, that's what would make it a particularly nice gesture on your part.
No. I'll tell you what. If you won't take me to the center, take me as far as you can, and then I'll do it on my own.
Sure. Just don't promise nothing, but, I'll take you as far as I can. Then you're on your own, right? I've known Michael Motion's work for several years, and he does this incredible act, and what he does is as close to real magic as anything that I really know. We had this design for what Jareth something to express these magic powers, and so then we thought of the idea of using Michael to do that. Jim, a gift.
What is it?
It's a crystal. Okay. For the occasions, we wanted to use Michael's right arm to be David's arm. We set it up with a stand-in for David, so he could rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and try to get this move. We had to have Michael down behind David, and he had to be leaning down in the camera shot. He's now working totally blind. 372, take 6. When we shot that scene with David, he was incredibly patient. Wait! You going? Ready? Wait! You going? Ready? Wait! I've got a much better plan. I don't know how many takes we did, but it was lots and lots. Wait! I have a much better plan. I don't think Michael Motion, the juggler, had much fun. It was agonizing for him. Excuse me. Wait! I've got a much better plan, Hoggle. Give her this. What is it? It's a present. It ain't gonna hurt the little lady. Oh, now why the concern? I won't do nothing to harm her. Oh, come, Hogbrain. I'm surprised at you losing your head over a girl. I ain't lost my head. You don't think a young girl could ever like a repulsive little scab like you, do you? Well, she said we were bosom companions. Friends. Don't matter. You'll give her that, Hoggle. Rip you straight into the bog of eternal stench before you can blink. Right. computerized camera. Computer to make the camera move at exactly the same speed and so forth. And all of these elements were put together later in the laboratory.